So, welcome everyone once again. I'm Carol Stehl, guiding you through your practice today. We're going to be doing a slow and steady flow. We're going to flow through our practice with a particular emphasis on grounding. The importance of grounding and staying grounded has never been more important right now. So we're going to move into our practice by coming onto our mats. Good morning, Robert. We're getting started now, so you're just in time. So let's go ahead and move to your mat and come onto your hands and knees. So coming to your hands and knees, we're going to do some centering in a child's pose. So take whatever child's pose version suits you best. Now I'm going to suggest that you separate your knees wide apart and bring your big toes together and then release your hips back. If your hips don't want to come all the way back, you might want to rest on your forearms. Okay? Rest on your forearms. And another option is to take a blanket, a folded blanket, and place it behind your knees. It helps create lots of space in those knees and gives you a little support. And then release your arms forward here. Okay? So you want to have your head supported by something. So you can use a block. If your head doesn't rest comfortably on the floor naturally, you can use a block, or you can use stacked fists. So come to your child's pose. And just release. So taking a nice full breath in, filling up the back ribs with breath, and then release it all out. Take another full breath in to the back ribs, filling up the back of the body with breath, and with the exhale, release something to the ground. Just letting go, just getting yourself focused and centered. Take 3 more centering breaths here, nice full breaths in. Make sure they're comfortable. Release something to the ground. Let go. Concerns, tension. Just keep breathing. And releasing. And now from here, just stretch your arms out way in front of you. Spread the fingertips wide. And on your breath in, let's come forward, arching the back into a hammock shape. This is called cow pose. It's also referred to as dog tilt. It has other names. We'll call it cow today. And then on your exhalation, we're going to flow back towards child's. So coming back as far as is comfortable for you. Inhaling, coming forward, arching into the cow, and perhaps looking up at the sky. Exhaling back. Inhaling forward, looking up if that's comfortable. Take 3 more rounds, moving at the pace of your breath. I invite you to extend your breath, making it longer, but make sure it's comfortable. And last one. And release back. So now we're going to come forward and reverse the arch. So coming forward as you breathe in, round the back, lifting the back up towards the sky, and lift your navel up towards your spine. Navel towards the spine, and then on the exhale, release back. Inhale, come forward, round, 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 lift, lift, lift. Exhale back. And keep going. Let's take 4 more of these. Giving the spine some nice nourishing vitality. And last one. Coming back and releasing to child's. Now we're going to be on our knees a little bit longer. Of course, you can always get some padding for your knees. Place a towel or a blanket underneath. Okay? And so now we're going to, once again, lift and round the back, but this time we're going to come a little further forward. And keep lifting the navel up towards the spine and then releasing back. Lift, lift, and round, round. And come a little further forward. Now start opening wide across those collarbones. And release back. So lifting and rounding and opening wide across the heart center. Coming a little further forward as you feel called. Opening. Coming more towards a cobra pose. Let's take 2 more of these. Rounding, lifting the navel, opening the heart. Coming a little closer to the ground with the hips. And then last one. And release the hips down, drawing the elbows straight back as far as they'll go. And just keep lifting the heart, presenting the heart forward, opening wide across those collarbones, and just looking straight ahead or down at the floor, and breathe. And one more breath in here. And on an exhale, let's push back. Release all the way back to child here. A couple of centering breaths. If you'd like, you can bring your head to your block or the floor, and then bring your hands together and draw them over your head. If that doesn't work for you, just relax your arms on the ground. And on your next breath in, stretch the arms way forward. Fingertips spreading wide, and then coming up to your table pose. And we're going to curl the toes under. And again, we're going to open wide across those collarbones. And with the knees bent, just keep bending the knees and lifting the knees off the ground. Keep opening wide across those collarbones as you push the hips back towards a downward dog. Knees really bent at first. Maybe wobble the hips back and forth. Keep breathing. And then hips back to center. Draw one heel down to the ground. Bending the opposite knee, and then perhaps alternating back and forth. And then let's bring both heels down towards the ground. And so from here, begin to round, round, round the back. Once again, draw the navel up towards the spine as you draw forward towards a plank pose. And here, present the heart. Open wide across those collarbones. Lift the back knees. Full breath in here. As you exhale, let your exhale carry you back to the downward dog. Keeping your knees bent if you'd like. And inhale, round, round. Lift the navel up as you come forward to your plank. And then exhale back to downward dog. Now take 3 to 4 more of these at your own pace. And ending up in your downward dog. Take another full breath in here. And as you exhale, begin to walk the feet all the way up towards the hands. And then take the hands to the waist. Tone the belly slightly, and with a nice level back, come all the way up to standing. And let's just come to standing in the middle of the mat. I'm going to turn a little bit of an angle, but you can stand straight ahead. And so just separate your feet a very comfortable distance apart, perhaps hip distance like I've got mine. Okay, the feet are basically parallel. Don't force them. Okay, so standing in your Tadasana, your mountain pose. So I want to bring your attention to your feet. We want to focus today on grounding 3 points of each foot. Okay, so each foot is like a tripod. So you want to imagine that you have the tripod is in the middle of the heel, and then at the little toe mound and at the big toe mound. So press into the heel of one foot, then keep pressing into the heel as you press into the little toe mound, and then press into the big toe mound. Now you have equal weight distributed across all 3 points, yes? Okay, and now let's do the same thing on the foot, is like snugly grounding into the earth, okay? And so now, bring it all together, all 6 points. It takes maybe a few seconds to get yourself evenly distributed across these 6 points. And the beauty of this alignment is that not only does it ground you, like really ground you in your poses, and turn the toes out. Okay, turn the toes out. And so now get yourself grounded in one foot. Just pick the first foot, heel, little toe, big toe, heel of the other foot, little toe, big toe. Ground down through all 6 points. Lengthen up tall. Just release your hands to your thighs and just lower your gaze towards the floor and just feel yourself connecting with the earth through these tripods, through these points on the bottoms of your feet. Just notice what happens in the core of your body when you press into these points. You might want to release them, see what happens in here, and then press into them and notice what happens. You might feel a lifting or an engagement in the core. Okay, so now let's start flowing again. So let's lunge to the left or right, doesn't matter which side. Just begin to lunge from side to side. You can just rest your hands on your thighs, or you can bring your hands to your hips. Just go back and forth. Now notice when you go to one side, what happens to the points on the other foot. You want to press equal weight into all 6 points, no matter where you are in this flow. Back and forth. Okay, so keep your focus on those points. And now as we lunge to one side, we're going to take the opposite arm and flow it over. Opposite arm sweeps up and back. Just add the arms, sweeping, focus on the feet. Breathe in as you take the arm up, opening the body. Breathe out as you bring it down, side to side. And a couple more times to each side. Breathing in as you open, exhale as you flow down. And last one. Okay, great. So now we're going to turn towards one side. So I'm going to turn this way. You can turn this way with me if you'd like. Doesn't matter which way. So you want to have, we'll call this the front foot. And then have that front foot pointing towards the edge of the mat. And the back foot is turned in at a little bit of an angle. So the toes are pointing towards the front of the mat. Let's bend the front foot, the bent front knee. Okay, you want to have, think about those 6 points. Get nice and grounded through all 6 points. All right. And so as you breathe in, take the arm, flip the palms of the hands, arms come up, straighten the front leg, palms turn down, come back down. So inhale, pressing into that front foot, exhale. And just keep going. So while we're grounding, very conscious of our grounding through our feet, we also want to stay nice and light and fluffy and airy. We don't want to be rigid. We want to keep a lightness to our being. So perhaps relax those shoulders as you bring your arms out. Relax somewhere in the face. And then finish this round and take one more round. Keep your focus on your feet and relaxing everywhere else. Good. So now let's come back. Turn the feet back towards the center. And let's take the other side. So now the back foot becomes the front foot. Turn that back foot in. Add a little bit of an angle. Let's bend the front leg, front knee, arms come out. Relax somewhere. Focus on the feet. Get really grounded in those points. Takes a little maneuvering, doesn't it? And then flip the palms, inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale, warrior two. And take 4 more at your own pace. Grounding at the same time, finding some ease somewhere in the body. We often exert more energy in our poses and in life than we need to. So notice where you're exerting or just giving more and feeling light and moving through our flow with ease. And then last one. Great. And now let's bring the feet back to center and turn back to the original side, the first side. Same stance. Bending the front knee, setting up for a warrior two once again. Get really grounded first. Those 3 points of the front foot, the back foot, all 6 points. Arms out. Nice. Now let's bring the back arm to the back leg. Flip the palm of the front arm and then straighten that front leg. Bend that front leg and come back into reverse warrior. And then arms come back up. And just float the arms up. Back arm comes down. Moving with the breath. Inhale, lifting. Exhale, back to warrior two. Couple more times. So you might notice that with your alignment with the 3 points, that front leg is naturally doing its own self-alignment. You don't have to push it or hold it anywhere because the pressing into those points naturally aligns the leg. I just love that, obviously. Okay, let's take the other side. Pivot the feet back to the other side. Bending the front knee into the warrior 2. Arms come out. Get really grounded. Relax. Relax the shoulders. Relax, soften the eyes. Nice. Inhale. Lift. Maybe a little higher. Exhale. 4 more times at your own pace. Last one. Nice. Release the arms. Let's heel toe the feet back together. And then we're going to stand here in mountain pose just for a second. Couple breaths. Just lower your gaze towards the floor. Find your center, a couple of centering breaths. Okay, now let's come to kneeling. Kneeling on the middle of your mat. And again, if your knees get a little cranky, then find some padding. That's what I'm going to do. So standing on your knees, we're going to bring one foot out to the side. So you want to walk your knees over a little bit to the opposite side. So you can pick sides, doesn't matter which side. And then bring your fingertips to the floor, or we're going to take the leg out, but you can help yourself get there by bringing your fingertips to the floor. Bring your leg out. Align that leg with the first leg, the standing leg, the standing knee. And then turn your toes so they're facing straight ahead. Turn your toes to the extent they'll turn straight ahead in front of you, okay? And then see if you can ground into those 3 points here. Now this is feels a little awkward, no? When you're not standing right over your feet, it becomes a little more difficult. But just see what you can do to ground through the big toe mound, the little toe mound, the heel, okay? And so just resting your hand on that extended leg. Let's take the opposite arm up. As you breathe in, reach up. And exhale, come over your gate pose. Inhale and lift. Exhale over. Just sliding that lower arm, hand down the leg as you flow. Finding some ease, some lightness somewhere as you ground down through that standing foot and the standing knee. Let the breath be your guide. Reach up, over. 2 more times. Okay, so bring that arm down. Now let's turn the toes and point them towards the end of the mat. See if you can ground down through those 3 points here. And then bring your hand to the floor. Coming down to the floor, keep pressing into that foot so you can ground yourself on that end. Okay? And then take the top arm up. And then over as far as your arm is willing to go comfortably. You may want to stop at an angle, or maybe you want to bring it over by your ear and press into that foot and stretch through that whole top side and through the arm. And then if you'd like, if you want a little more challenge for the core, you can lift that leg and flex the foot. I call this fence pose. I don't know what it's really called. Maybe it is called fence, but what follows gate but fence, right? Okay, so stretching, lifting, hands to the waist, and then bend that extended leg. Come back up. And we're going to change sides. So you can do it without your hands or with your hands. Bring your hands to the floor if you need. Let's walk the knees over to the other side slightly. Extend that leg out. Opposite leg. Just rest your hand on the leg. Turning your toes straight ahead. Okay. Seeing that your legs are lined up in the same plane. Okay. Ground down through that foot. Standing knee. And then inhale, taking the arm up. Reach way up and come over and flow. Inhale. Reach up. Exhale. Over. Find the lightness. Find the ease somewhere. Where can you soften? Maybe it's in the belly a little bit. You need it for the core strength, but you also don't need to clutch your belly, right? So see if check around the body to notice if there's any extra energy being expended unnecessarily. 2 more times. And over. And then bring it back up. Release the arm down. And let's turn the toes out so that they point straight towards the edge of the mat. And then bring the opposite hand down to the floor. And you want to, if your foot slides like mine just did, you want to get regrounded through the foot. Open the heart center up as you take the arm up towards the sky, lifting through that arm, and then perhaps bringing it over, getting more extension, stopping wherever your shoulder or any other body part tells you to stop. Your body's always sending you messages. It's just up to you to listen. What are those messages? And breathe here and keep lengthening. I feel like my body's growing longer and taller on that side with every breath. And if you'd like, you can lift that optional. And maybe you're lifting just an inch off the floor. Doesn't matter how far up you take it. 1 more breath. And let's lower the leg. If it's low, if it's raised, bring the arm up, back to the waist. Great. Okay. So now let's come back up. Bring the knees back down. Both knees together. And let's come to a seat. Okay. So come to sitting on your mat. And if you'd like, you can sit on a blanket or a towel. Just sitting in a comfortable Sukhasana, cross-legged position, easy pose. It's called easy pose, and I'll never figure out why, because it's not so easy for many of us. Okay, so we're going to do a twist. And what we're going to do is we're going to flow through our twist, and we're going to twist from the waist. We're going to start at the waist, and then think about twisting from the rib cage, twisting at the shoulders, and the last thing that'll twist is your head. Okay? So let's take the arms out, all the way up as you breathe in. Turn to one side, float the arms down. Inhale, lift. Turn to the other side. We're turning from the waist, then the rib cage, the shoulders, and then the head, and arms come down. You with me? Waist, rib cage, shoulders, head, arms. Let's go back and forth a few more times. Just staying tuned in. Notice what's going on in there. What messages is your body sending you? Can you soften somewhere as you flow through this twist? And so the next time you land on the right side, just hold there. Hold in your twist. And feeling your seat against the ground. Nice and grounded. Relax the shoulders down. Lengthen up through the back of the neck. And breathe. A couple of breaths here. On your next breath in, take the arms up. Flow to the other side, waist, rib cage, shoulders, head. Arms come down and hold. One more breath here. And let's take the arms up as you breathe in. And back to center, arms come down. Okay. So let's cross the legs, opposite cross. And we'll just take another minute or two. Otherwise, you can just stay seated and just perhaps lower your gaze towards the ground or close your eyes altogether, whatever's comfortable for you. And just feeling your seat against the ground, feeling your connection to the ground beneath you. If you're on your back or seated, just notice those places where your body's in contact with the ground. See if you can sink a little deeper and notice where can you relax? Where can you soften? Perhaps somewhere in the face, maybe in the shoulders, maybe in the belly. Just breathing. And a few more breaths here. Just focusing on your breath. And then working your way back up to sitting if you're lying down. If you'd like, you can stay there if you'd like. And just know that through these difficult times, we're called to draw on our inner strength, to be strong and steady. But it's also important to balance out this strength, this steadiness with ease and lightness and softness and calm. Thank you for joining me today. Namaste.